On this episode of Content Sessions, we're talking with Eric H. about Advanced GG. Thanks so much for coming on, man.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, tell us about the company.
All right. So, Advanced GG, we are a gaming supplement company. We make nootropic supplements targeting the gaming, esports, and online entertainment markets. So,
Very cool. And so, what type of products are they? Are they pre-mixed drinks, powders?
yep. So now we have lines. We have our focus line, which looks like this. So it helps you focus. And then we have our other line, which is the chill, and it helps you relax at the end of the day. So this has soft CBD in it.
Got it. And it's primarily targeted towards on the online gaming community. It feels like that's.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you said the online, online. I mean, gaming there. It's the online entertainment community, really, to be more specific. We'll expand outside of that, but that is our primary demographic right now.
So. Got it. And how'd the whole thing get started? How did it come about?
So, about a few years ago, a partner of mine so I have a partner named Peter and a few other guys that we did esport events with. And the online competitive esport events for 5 or 6 years together. We met some people in the dietary supplement industry, and we basically saw an opportunity and hit the ground. And we knew we were able to build businesses. We've built other brands before, and once we saw the opportunity, to make a really good product, a quality product that no one else was doing, we decided, let's do this thing. So yeah.
Absolutely. And have you been in the online gaming, online entertainment space for a long time yourself?
Yeah. So I've been working in it for about 6 or 7 years now. Worked with a variety of different companies. And then I bet a lot from that. So I guess you could say I'm very endemic to the community. I understand the nuances, the culture, the memes, and all that, which I think is very important for a business like this. If you're going to try to target the online entertainment or the online gaming space, it's really a bubble. It's its own type of world. If you don't understand it, you are going to stand out like a sore thumb right away. I've seen it happen so many different times. Companies will come in and they don't know how to speak in the memes. They don't know the cultural things. And it just doesn't work out. So I've been in it for a really long time, and I've already had a community around me, a lot of people that I've known. I've been friends with a lot of influencers for a long time. Influencers where I'm lucky to say that a lot of them have supported me on pretty much anything I've done. So I would credit a lot of the success that Advanced GG has is because of Peter and I's roots in the gaming space. So.
Got it. And tell me a little bit about Peter. What was his kind of background before that all?
Yeah, so Peter he works in dentistry, so completely different. I mean, he's same though. He on his free time, he was in the gaming space. He was things with, but he has a background in dentistry. That's kind of his real thing, which I guess you could say crosses over a little bit to this. He's just a really smart guy. We're opposites in the fact that, or in the sense that I am kind of the easy marketing, where I'm real creative, kind of up and down. I come out with these like really crazy ideas, and Peter's the guy who will pull me down to reality and be like, we can't afford that, or so we work really well together in that sense. But yeah.
That's great. And we were talking a little bit before and offline about your experience with influencer marketing as a whole. Tell us a little bit more about that. I know there's a lot of people that we talk to as an agency all the time that are really curious about it and what it's all about. So give us a little bit about your background there.
Yeah, so influencer marketing is my forte. I mean, it's what I'm good at, what I like to do. I have a long background in it. Influencer marketing is a phenomenon that allows you to basically sell your products through other people who have really big followings. And the phenomenon is the fact that these massive amounts of people, and they're influencers for a reason, right? These massive amounts of people are influenced by these people, right? So, or by these celebrity people. Um, they'll basically say it could be anything. Like Kylie Jenner could say she could probably tell people to jump off of a bridge, and they would do it. Like a certain amount of people would do it. That's how powerful this like phenomenon is. It's crazy. Um, so let's see. So my background goes back to just a variety of different gaming companies that I've been with. With also as an event planner, doing these esport events. I met a lot of influencers that way. I basically just realized that you can have them give them a message to relay to their community, and their community will listen. As if I say the message, they're not going to listen, right? And then I realized I'm like, eureka, like this is something special. Like it really it honestly does not matter what you're selling. If you're selling something good and something quality, that'll be easier for you. But that's how powerful influencer marketing for us specifically. And I know I want to talk with you off camera as well about this, but we have had no luck with like Google ads, banner ads. I mean, we've spent thousands of dollars on ads, Google, and we would get like out of $10,000, maybe we got like two sales. Like
Oof.
that's how, yeah, really really bad. And I know and I understand that we're not, we can do that better. I get that. But they have like one single influencer who will do $20,000 in revenue from one YouTube video.
Wow.
So you know what I'm saying? And we might have spent, could be $500 for that video, could be a couple $1,000. That stuff varies. Um, but influencer marketing is very powerful. It's also fun too. You kind of get to build a network and be friends with some of these people who have some really cool lives.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. And how are people buying the product now? Is it in stores? Is it online?
Yep. So right now, Advanced GG is sold only through our websites. It's sold through www.advanced.gg and also www.chillbyadvanced.gg. So technically, our real product is on a separate website, and that's just because we have the water soluble CBD in it. We are currently not able to ship that outside of the United States. Not yet. I mean, there's a lot of big brands that are doing it. I don't know how they're getting away with it. Bath and Beyond to name one. But yeah, so right now it is on a separate website, and then it's a couple other reasons why we separated. But if you just search us, Advanced GG, you should be able to find. So,
Very
um,
cool.
and then let me say one thing on that. We do plan on expanding beyond where our works doing that. But it's pretty. I'm definitely happy. We're all very happy that we've been able to be as successful as we have been with only selling through our website. So.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think I see it as a big play. I know we were talking, I came across your guys' company at the Toronto Gaming Convention.
Yeah,
And that's how,
EGLX. Yep.
that's right. And so, and that you were saying that was a bit of a good chunk of your marketing strategy was just getting in the face of the consumers, getting in the face of people that
True. Yep.
can buy the product. How many shows do you do in terms of events that you show up to?
So, good question. Right now, since we are fairly new, we're actually hitting. It's crazy. We're hitting about the 1 year mark that we've been fully publicly launched. Almost like on the dot right now. It's been
Awesome.
practically 1 year. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Which you kind of just reminded me of that. Probably should celebrate or something. Um, but within that time that we out, so obviously, the first, if any startup, if you're able to do conventions, expos, and things like that, it's valuable. But you don't want to do it right away. I mean, they're costly, and you need to focus on other things first. For us, we've been lucky to grow fairly quickly. And we saw an opportunity to do our first event, which was in Florida. It was called Guardian Con at the time. They just rebranded to GCX, Gaming Community Expo. It's actually based off charity, and I don't know if it's something to do with the fact that it's a charity. It's the 501c3 or whatever. I don't know what it is for you in Canada, but the nonprofit type thing. I think that made it so they had to keep their prices low, as opposed to like some of these other conventions will charge you $3,000, $5,000 for a 10 by 10 booth. This was it was way cheaper than that, and they had a ton of people show up, so that was a no brainer to us. So we did that. So that was one. Then TwitchCon, we did that, and it's because we've been to TwitchCon in the past, personally through, with other companies and just on foot, and we saw the power of that. That one was very expensive. It cost us over $10,000 to get out there, have the booth and fly everybody out there, and stay in a hotel and whatnot. So that, it went well. I'm happy we did it. Definitely lost some money there, but we did the one event, we did TwitchCon, and then we did EGLX. So we've done only 3 this year, and we might do one more in February, and then we're going to go around. Usually when we pick an event, we usually like to go to it every year. So it's going to definitely increase as time goes on, and we have more staff, and more resources. But I would say right now, for the foreseeable future, it's going to be at least 4 or 5 events a year. So I would like to do 10 plus every year. They're very valuable. So yeah.
But your product strikes me as something that would have a really high repeat order rate for the most part. Do you see that? Do you see that on the stats of your website? You get probably 30%, 40% retention, I would guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. I mean, and that's why it's a great business. I mean, I have a friend company, and I know all the guys that run it really well, called Gamer Advantage, make an only clinically proven lens for blue light, blocking blue light. Everybody else they're just arbitrary claims. And his product, his price point's like 130 or 20, something like that. It's a lot higher than ours, but sometimes we talk, we're like, but it's a lot more of a struggle for you, because how many times people buy glasses, where with us, when we get customers, a lot of them do come back. So
yeah, and so even if you lose, in my opinion, even if you lose a chunk of money, you don't even break even at those shows. If you get it in enough people's hands, then kind of the back end of that probably catches you up at some point, which is nice.
100%,
that we worked with a lot of actually supplement companies, an importer actually of supplements, more like health and wellness and bodybuilding type stuff. And we've got the Amazon set up, and we've got the Shopify store set up, and like the repeat rate on some of them is ludicrous. Like every 3 months they're buying these $100 and something tubs of stuff, and people are just get hooked on the product, and it works for them, and they just keep buying over and over. So yeah,
that's the thing. That's why you do want to have quality products, for stuff like that. Again, I think you could almost sell anything with influencers and whatnot, but then are they going to come back is the question. If it's not quality, they're not going to come back.
Okay, cool. And so how are you getting the product out there now? I mean, I came across you guys at the Toronto Gaming Show. So do you guys do a lot of live stuff? Do you have some stuff in retail? How are you distributing the product now?
So right now it's only available on our website. We are in the midst of talking with a lot of different retailers. We will be on Amazon soon. So yeah.
Very good.
But all on our website now.
Very good. And then do you guys see a play in the retail space, or is that something I don't know? Is there a lot of this out there? Is there a lot of competition for this product right
now? So I mean, there is in the nutraceutical, the general nutraceutical or dietary supplement space, but for gaming supplements specifically, I mean, even gaming supplements specifically there are a lot of companies. I mean, hundreds of them probably, but there's only a few, like literally 4 or 5 that are doing it well. The other ones are probably, I don't see them lasting very long. I can tell a lot of people a business like this really comes down to the people that operate it, the passion that's into it. I mean, it's hard work, but the main thing to be successful in this space is you have to know the video game space really, really well. And Peter and I know the space well. We have a lot of friends that are influencers. We just understand the culture, the nuances to the space. So
makes sense. Yeah. And how many shows do you guys do, like different events and different things like that throughout a year? I mean, I know it's still early, but are you guys investing a lot of time and attention into that?
Yeah. So right now we did 3 this year. We did Guardian Con, which is no longer going to be Guardian Con. It's going to be called GCX next year, but that was in Tampa, Florida. We did Guardian Con. We did TwitchCon in San Diego, and then a couple weeks after that, we did EGLX, which was where I've met you, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and there's a few other events that we're thinking of doing coming up, but we'll see. We're in talks. There's some events that have exclusivity, like by Red Bull or Monster.
Mm,
Even though those companies are technically different. I mean, they're in the food and beverage category, but sometimes they can have claim over the whole thing. Um, so we're working to get in a few other events, but we'll see how that plays out.
yeah.
We're definitely going to come back to Guardian Con, which is GCX this year, and then TwitchCon next year, and EGLX again. So
Very cool. And so you had mentioned earlier that you have your previous experience in the influencer space. Tell me a little bit how you guys are thinking about that. I know I took a look on some of your the social content and on some of the website. So it's obvious that you guys are partnering with people in the industry. But how are you like? Is that kind of the main focus from the marketing standpoint?
um, I would say it's a pretty big part of it. I don't know if it's the main. Oh, okay, there you go. It's definitely one of the main. I mean, we're heavy into email marketing, social
Mhm.
media marketing. Um, but yeah, it's definitely one of the big ones. And I'd say that's what I'm personally good at myself. That's what I like to do. That's what I enjoy. Um, yeah.
Got it. And how have you found, I mean, obviously it sounds like a decent amount of the people in the space, but one of the big, whatever you want to call it, controversies, if you want, in the world of influencer is, the idea of people having inauthentic following, or people that aren't, real followers, or purchase lists and all that kind of
hmm
stuff. Do you have kind of some processes? How do you kind of think about that, to kind of combat that situation? Or is it because you kind of know the people, it's like
With
people?
influencers,
Mm.
you're saying with influencers specifically, or
Yeah, yeah.
this kind of phenomenon with following just in general in the space or
Yeah,
online?
I mean,
Yeah.
specifically with influencers, because it's one of those weird
Oh,
situations.
I see what you're saying. Like, how do you vet out somebody to see if they're legitimate, as opposed to just a bunch of fluff?
Hmm.
Um, that's actually a really good question. I'd say that is probably the single most important thing that you need to be good at in order to succeed in influencer marketing is knowing how to properly identify people that have value. Um, and there's many different ways to do that, but really it comes down to experience. You have to be in a space for a while. You have to become kind of an expert in the area. You have to, as I always say, live, eat, and breathe it, sleep it. Just do it all the time. Surround yourself with that, and then you'll understand it well. But specifically to answer your question, usually what I do is I divide it into two categories. They're either a streamer primarily, or they're a YouTuber. Now there's other things like you can be an Instagrammer, you could be a TikToker, you could be
Hmm.
a someone that's on Snapchat a lot, and those things can be valuable. But for us specifically, it's usually the value is really in the streamers and the YouTubers. And yes, you can do both, but usually or always primarily you're one or the other. So you need to identify that first. Um, First, so let's just say they're a YouTuber, then I would go to their page. What I like to do is average views per video,
Hmm.
and usually I'll just guesstimate that because you have sites like Social Blade that'll show you total views per month, which is a valuable stat. Or like subscribers. Subscribers aren't really valuable. I
Mm.
don't care about how many subscribers somebody has. I care about what their active engagement is,
Got
what their current interactions are, because those subscribers they might not be fake necessarily, but they could be from 10 years ago from something that was totally different. Their channel could have been focused on a completely different category or a different game, something that's just not relevant anymore. And
Right.
then
Yeah.
that's dead weight because currently, and this is something that maybe YouTube should come out with, YouTube and Twitch and all these people, is a way to prune your following. Discord has that actually. There's a button you can click. If people aren't active, if they're not interacting, you could give them the boot, politely give them the boot. But YouTube doesn't have that. Twitch doesn't have that. So you end up building up these followings over the years, and it doesn't really mean anything.
Right.
So anyhow, so in order to see the value, what they have as a marketer, as a digital marketer, you're going to want to know what the current engagement is. So again, I'll look at the last. The, usually, I look about a month or 1 or 2 months out, and then I'll see what their average views are per video. So if they're around 30,000 or more, is usually somebody that I want to work with. So it's kind of a
Makes sense.
long-winded answer to that.
No,
So
it's good though. It's a good
yeah.
insight because I mean, there's people in all different industries these days are trying to get into the space, and
Hmm.
we've hosted some live workshops here in Toronto about how to like, especially for Instagram specific, but like how to calculate engagement rates, based on certain metrics and taking a look back at different posts. So I think it makes perfect sense, and it's really valuable for people to at least understand it because with a lot of this online stuff and a lot of this content stuff these days,
Hmm.
there's so much misinformation, there's so much kind of weird bullshit out there, and it's nice for people to have a resource to determine what an actual course of action, what an actual expectation looks like for this kind of stuff. So it's very
Sure.
interesting. Now you
I mean,
mentioned
using
sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. I was just going to say, you do you use any specific platforms to gauge some of that stuff yourself, or I mean, do you like Social Blade or?
Social Blade, yeah, Social Blade is good. Now, to be honest, like just manually going back and doing manual
I agree. Yeah.
calculations, looking at the last 10 posts,
Yeah.
average engagement, average
You
comments, and
could.
then kind of
Yeah.
sussing it out. That's a pretty good. And then what we do is we have a table that says if your followers are within a certain number
Hmm.
range, your engagement rate should be this percent to this percent. And as it
Yep.
goes up, the rate goes down, but there's still like a benchmark that we kind of go based on.
That's
Um,
funny. Yeah.
yeah.
I have that exact same thing. Can I share stuff? I mean,
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen.
let's see. Share.
Yeah, if you just click
Oh,
share,
here
then
we go.
it'll
Hey,
pop up. There you go. Perfect. Have at it.
you can see it right now.
No,
Or no? Oh,
I'm still seeing you. Now it is.
about
Now
there.
it's
So
now.
okay, this is my other monitor.
Okay.
Just like you were talking about here, I
Mm,
created this. Being successful in digital marketing and keeping people accountable and whatnot, it use a lot of spreadsheets,
mhm.
creating systems. I'm always creating systems to make things more efficient. And this is basically exactly what you said, right? We have like a level system, a tiered system for partners that we bring on, and again, we divide them either they're a streamer, so here level streamers, or they're YouTubers.
Got it.
And
Mhm.
then here, based this is the level that they could be, level 1, 2, 3, based off their here their concurrent viewers, because I spoke on YouTube, but for streamers I look at concurrent viewers, and
Right.
there's two sites that I use for that. So yep.
Awesome. Very cool. There you go. Knowledge dropping.
Yeah.
Um, and then do you for streaming, do you focus on just on Twitch streamers? I know there's a whole bunch of
No.
different things out there, and I mean, not being super into the space.
Mhm.
I know there's a whole bunch of different platforms that are coming out, but I mean, is Twitch kind of still the main focus in that space?
Sure, it's a good question. Before you get into that, because I cut
Mhm.
you off before, what was your question about Discord? You said something about
Oh
Discord.
yeah, I know. You had mentioned the ability to eliminate audience and eliminate people out based on their thing. But for the people that don't know, because you just but last week or 2 weeks ago, you actually showed me for the first time what it was. So
Oh
just
yeah,
tell us a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit
I
about
forgot about that.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so Discord is like the Skype or the Slack, maybe. I mean, maybe use Slack. A lot of business
Mm,
people use Slack, which I still do use Slack. I keep all the business stuff there.
mm,
It's the Skype for gamers,
got it.
basically. But it's just built really well. It's built in an environment that it's just very rudimentary and easy to use. It's got a dark mode layout. Um, Even though a lot of gamers use it, I really would recommend it for anyone that's trying to build an online community. Discord's excellent. Like
Mm,
it's honestly like must have if you're building an online community. Yep.
very interesting. I'm actually, yeah, I'm moving into that space shortly.
You
So
should, man.
we'll,
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah.
yeah, sounds good, man. That's great. Um, and so now do you do it, most of the influencer stuff? Are you doing it based on like long-term partnerships, like long-term, like affiliate style stuff? Or do you focus on like one campaign at a time with people, or is it kind of a mix?
It's a mix. It's
Mm,
definitely a mix. It depends on the size of the person. Not just that, it also depends on what they want.
mhm.
You'd be surprised when you deal with a lot of very successful influencers. Um, they're already wild. Some of these people are wildly successful. It's hard to even fathom, you know, uh, the amount of income that they have and things like that. So the last thing they need is even $5,000 sponsorship from someone. It's nice, but usually what they care about first is working with people that they like. Um, so again, that's where some of the advantages that Peter and I have is that we know a lot of people in the space, and we really have roots in the space. Um, so yeah, it varies, and we work with people in all different ways. So, but having a sheet like that I showed you, the partner level sheet, that's just a way to keep it objective, keep it fair across the board in case that you have to keep it that way. So, but we do reserve the right to work with people in any way that we see fit. And yeah, so I would say the general rule of thumb is anyone that's just like a certain size of an influencer will be customized, a custom deal, and then
Right.
any other people that are below will kind of fall on somewhere on that spectrum of the partner level. So.
Got it. Makes sense. And so, and how do you guys think about from a content perspective? I know I looked through some of the Instagram, some of the Facebook stuff.
Mhm.
Are you guys? I saw that you guys have a Twitch channel. Like, how are you guys putting out content for your brand? How are you thinking about
Um, let's see. That's a question that kind of casts a wide net.
that?
Um, so I mean, we do all the above, I guess is the best way to put it. Twitter, Instagram, um, Facebook. We are just recently getting into TikTok. TikTok we think is very important. In fact, one of the things that I was doing before this was I was writing up a job description. We want to hire somebody specifically to run our TikTok and to build our TikTok.
Yeah.
Um, so right now, though, we post on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram using Hootsuite. Sometimes we'll use those particular platforms by themselves. Just a few posts a day. We kind of feel it out a little bit. Post. That's the thing. Again, when you do this so long, you get a sense for when your audience is craving like a meme, or
Mm.
when they're craving something about the product. And it's not just your audience, also the algorithm. Like when you do this for a long time, you really start to like become the algorithm. I swear, I don't know if I'm overthinking it sometimes, but I really feel like you just get this sense where like when you post this if it's going to get a lot of likes or not, or if the algorithm's just going to reject it. Which this is a whole other conversation, but I'll just touch on it briefly. I really feel like these algorithms nowadays are they're so different, and so many people aren't aware. So they might, let's just say they worked really hard to get 10,000 followers. They did all these, in-person activations. They got all these people signing up for their lists, um, and nowadays, Twitter or some of these other platforms, just because you have 10,000 followers doesn't mean all 10,000 of those people are going to see your post.
Mm.
Twitter just arbitrarily decides if they want to show your post or not. Well, not arbitrarily, but they have a system. I don't really agree with the systems all the time. I understand their business too, but uh, you can't just assume because you have a lot of followers that everybody's going to see that. You have to still play by their rules in order for them to think that your posts are relevant. So that's a constant struggle, constantly trying to stay ahead of the curve and whatnot. So.
Got it. And then how are you guys creating? I mean, you've obviously got some photography from the events that you guys are at.
Mm,
You have some content from the influencers. Um, are you guys creating a lot of like video based on gaming action? Like
sure.
how are you making, because it's funny, I have a lot of conversations with people specifically about content. And when you were
Mm.
like, oh, a couple of times a day, like I could feel a couple people's heads exploding.
Yeah.
And so, and it's nice. I mean, especially when you've got the ability to do user generated content, like, hey,
Mm.
send us a picture of you with our product. And that's really
Yep.
great. Um, what's kind of the way that you are able to generate as much content as you need?
Okay. I mean, that's a good question, and it definitely varies depending on what vertical that you're in. What your community is like, what your audience is like, what they want to see. Um, but for us, so we don't. So many things just kind of go by themselves. So there obviously are a few things that we have to stop, and we have to build a full campaign around, and a whole launch strategy and all that. Let's just say we have a new flavor or a new line of products dropping. Then we're going to take some time. We're going to strategize, and we're going to, drop a video, do the full press release, right? Get in some blogs, and then plan out posts like that perfectly. But otherwise, there's just so many things going on that it kind of guides you. Um, like for example, right now we have the holidays coming up. We have Thanksgiving. We just had Veterans Day, here, here in the U.S. Um, we have, we have all the Christmas holidays. We have the New Year's. All of those things. A lot of them, merit having a sale, a promo. So there's just a ton of content that you need to do around that. That's going to fill up a ton of time. Obviously, email marketing goes with that. And then again, you throw in the meme here and there. You kind of get a feel for that. There's when you have we have a decent sized customer base now. So there's people tweeting at us all the time, taking pictures, of our stuff. We're constantly doing things to incentivize people to do that. So when I say, a couple posts a day, it doesn't mean that's all that's showing up on our feed. I'm just saying stuff that we post, and we do that on purpose because of these algorithms. We feel sometimes if you overflood these algorithms, they'll penalize you because they look at you as being spammy.
Hmm.
But we will retweet, if somebody posts something really good about us. In fact, if you could pull up our Twitter right now, I want to show you something. Someone tweeted at us something that I like, and it was actually me that went in there and retweeted it. So like when we get content like, so if you scroll down to, that's our pin. So right there. So when we get content like this,
Mm-hmm.
I'll stop everything I'm doing. I'll get a little alert on my phone, and if it's not me, it could be one of our other people that has access to social media, Peter sometimes. So yeah, that one right there. Not that one, but the one above.
Yeah.
Both of those were posted by someone else, right?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
when you get content like that, you just retweet it, right? One thing we do encourage people, if they're partners, to not post their promo code, because that kind of undermines our other partners.
Right.
And most of them know that, generally speaking, we won't retweet them if they do that. But if they don't put that, then it's just free. It's just great content, right? Quality content, and it gives them value too. They get a little bit of exposure out of it. It's nice.
Do you like reach out and say, like, do you ever put any communications outbound saying, hey, tag us in when you grab it, take a picture and tag us in it? Like, do you send anything like a little piece in the packaging or something when you send out to say, to promote the user generated, or do you find that it just comes to you?
Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure if we changed this or not, but this was one of the ones we had at one point. I don't know if you could see that.
Yeah.
So we have this insert right here. So we have a 20% off your next order. If you're happy with your order, leave us a review on AdvancedGG, then email us at contact@AdvancedGG, showing us proof that you did the review, and then we'll give you 20% off your order. We'll send you a code. So that's one thing. At the bottom, it says, upload a photo of you drinking Focus or Chill using the hashtag #BeAdvanced and be entered for a chance to win a PS4 Pro or Xbox One. So it looks like that, and then the front of it, just a thank you.
Super smart. Yeah, I was having a conversation with someone the other day just about like the, sending out products and sending out information products or physical products, whatever, but then never asking anybody to write anything nice or
For sure.
communicate with you, or not provoking it at all. And it's amazing how many brands are leaving
Mm-hmm.
money and attention and free content on the table by not. So yeah, it's
oh yeah, and that's just one way that we do it all the time. Where we'll reach out to people directly. Some of the bigger influencers will just reach out and direct, like, hey, can you make a post and do this? Usually they'll do it. But again, that's where it comes down. That's where I love Discord, because we use Discord so it's not open to the public. It's purely for our partners, right? And right now we have over 300 influencers or partners or content creators, however you want to look at it. So over 300 people in this Discord, and we can communicate with them all at once. We can separate them into channels. So.
Got it. Yeah, that's a really interesting way to think about the use of that. Is kind of, here's our premier people that we have to keep in regular touch with, and instead of segmenting and doing emails, it kind of puts people in the same area to have conversations.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Is Discord something where you can upload like video and documents and have like almost like an organization for like a gallery or forum of content within that?
So the way it's set up, here, I'll just give a quick little glance here to people that are watching. switch. Gear Discord detected new audio. Don't switch. Okay. So here's our Discord here. Everything is set up in. I'm not too familiar with coding
Mm.
language, but it's again, it's very rudimentary. It's very like
Yeah.
basic, but you can do so much with it at the same time, which are
Right.
some of the things that are just the best when they're simple, but you can still do a lot with them. And that's how they've kind of kept it like this for a long time. So you have the servers that you're in. This is our server here.
Hmm.
And you can make any of these channels. So like you're saying with posting and whatnot, the short answer is no, but you can make something um, like partner photos here.
Mm.
So we made this channel, and then we have partners post photos.
Got it. Got it.
So if you
Got it.
see all that stuff there, yep.
Hmm.
So we can make the channel anything. You can make it announcements and then just pin stuff there. You can give access to people, um, limited access. So
Hmm.
yep,
Very smart. I like it. I'm I'm gonna start looking into it
yeah,
for my purposes for sure.
definitely got to get on that wave.
Hmm. And so where do you guys see it kind of going? I mean, obviously you're on a really good, feels like you're on a pretty good growth trajectory. It feels like you've got a lot of good content partners. There's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff pumping out. The socials pumping out. Um, Everything's being sold on the website, so it feels like it's got like a really good ecosystem.
Yeah.
Um, what's kind of the next step? How are you thinking about scale?
Um. Well, let's see. I mean, influencers, we're definitely going to still keep doing the things that work. Um, one great thing about working in influencer marketing is the bigger the people that you work with, then the bigger the person next time that you'll be able to work with.
Right.
So let's just say, yeah, let's say you work with um, Shaquille O'Neal or something, right? He's a popular basketball player. If you work with Shaquille O'Neal, then maybe, and if you heard me say this, you'd probably be upset. But then after that, it might snowball into being able to work with Michael Jordan
Right.
someday.
Hmm.
And that's kind of the trajectory we're on. I mean, we work right now with some of the biggest names in gaming, people that we're really, really proud of, that we wouldn't trade for the world. But we're definitely on an upward trajectory where that's leading to bigger and bigger things. In fact, there's so many things happening behind the scenes right now that I can't discuss, but really exciting things. Advance is definitely not slowing down. In fact, I just got back from a meeting. I flew out for a meeting close to Canada, not in Canada, but um, and had a meeting with a very famous influencer, someone that's on TV all the time that a lot of people would know. Um, and so we'll see what happens with that. So influencer marketing is going to be definitely still a thing. Getting into a lot of different retail stores is a thing. That's something that I've been working on specifically myself. Um, let's see. So retail stores, obviously Amazon. I mean, I've read somewhere that Amazon owns 90% of e-commerce, which is, I don't know if that's fully accurate or not, but I could see that
Right.
that sounds about right. Which is just absurd when you think of it. That's just unbelievable. And the thing about getting on Amazon too, it's you say these things and it just seems simple. Just put it in here, just put it in retail stores. But being on Amazon is like its own thing nowadays. It's like its own Google, right? There's
Yep.
their own ads, and it's a whole nother world of things you have to learn. You can't just be on Amazon and sell it.
Yep.
You have to learn how their algorithms work, how all their sponsored ads. So
Yeah, I actually work with a probiotics company in the US, a pretty big
mhm.
company, and they have an entire other agency that only does Amazon.
Yeah, oh yeah, yep,
It's their
yep. We're
entire.
actually we're actually talking with one ourselves too, and I think we were quoted at I think it was 50,000 a month. I think we were quoted for that. Um, because of how serious of a promise basically they think they could bring.
Yeah.
Um, so $50,000 a month to work with this agency to run our Amazon for us.
Yeah.
But these guys work with the big names, and it's totally worth it. If they can make you 100,000, then you know what I mean. Why not do it? It just shows
Yeah.
how intricate some of those things can be.
Yep.
Um, so
What about, have
yeah.
you guys thought about, and I don't know if you've already done it. I haven't followed
Mm.
enough of the content, but have you guys thought about creating your own series of events or creating your own like ecosystem of content or anything like that?
What do you mean exactly?
Well, because I think there's a lot of there's a lot of companies that will sponsor an event, but
Hmm.
have you ever thought about like hosting tournaments or creating that kind of like bringing people in on a more kind of a different level almost?
Yeah. That is something that we talked about, and funny you should say that because myself and Peter, the CEO, have a background in event planning, specifically esports event planning.
Right.
We've hosted esport events for years. Um, that's actually where we got our name in the space.
Hmm.
People now work with us. They work with us now. These influencers, a lot of them, because of the name that we built doing these esports events. So that's something that would be right up our alley, and something that we absolutely want to do. We just really, to be honest with you, haven't had the time. There's just not enough time in the day, man.
Sounds like it.
There's so
Sounds
many
like it.
opportunities. You just gotta go out and you gotta take it and you gotta execute them.
Hmm.
It's never ending, man. It's
Yeah.
but no, absolutely, that would be great and something that we're already good at doing. So why not? For sure.
Yeah. One thing that we kind of talked about when we kind of had our just meeting chat the other week, and I know you had started working on ads with Google and started working on some ads on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that you said to me that is very common amongst people that do it is saying, it was hard to get the ROI that made sense for us to keep dumping money into it. But are you guys, one thing that occurs to me, it sounds like you guys are probably a website that gets a shitload of traffic,
Mm-hmm.
and gets a lot of, maybe people are coming for content, but maybe aren't coming to buy the product at that time. Are you doing any remarketing on the back of just general visitors to the site?
Yeah. So I guess talk about some of this stuff is a little embarrassing because of some of the things that the value that we are leaving on the table,
Right.
with some of these things. And it's not that we're not aware. It's just it comes down to the time one, and some of the things that we've tried for a little bit and it didn't really work out, and then we
Sure.
just figured we'd double down on the things that we did well.
Absolutely.
Um, but that type of thing, just because I digital marketing thing is something that I really enjoy, and it's those things kind of stay in my head where like I just feel like it's value being left on the table, and it's at some point I've been wanting to circle back, but I did a lot of talking about things that have been successful for us. So I'll now I guess get into a little bit about things that we haven't been successful with, which you brought up one of them. Um, so the retargeting specifically, that we haven't done much at all, really. But we've heard about the success of people doing that. Um, so I've heard you can, Facebook specifically doing the retargeting where it'll, follow you around. So if you visit somebody's site, then there'll be ads that pop up on Instagram, Facebook, um, that type of thing. So
And
we haven't
also,
done
and
that at
also,
all. Yeah.
yeah, and it also has, so Facebook also has a bunch of websites that it attaches and it owns ad space on as well. The
Yeah.
thing that recently launched, I don't know, it was like within the last 60 days, and something that we've now implemented across the board that's been really successful is sequenced content remarketing. And so what it used to be is you would have, you could set up a campaign that's like, if they do this and this and this on the site, or they go here and here, or spend this amount of time, or click this button, this would be the content that goes out. But what Facebook never gave us the ability to do is said, hey, all the people that did this but didn't do that, they're still variables. So the people that looked up a product and added it to the cart and then never went further, they're still variables of those people. And so
Hmm.
what Facebook's recently launched, which I really like, and actually we're seeing a great return from, is um, it's remarketing content that goes out based on a timing sequence. So it used to be that people that added to a cart, we would say, okay, get 2 video testimonials, get a promo code, and get a value prop, and then put those 4 ads in front of the person that added a product to a cart because there's some buying intent. Let's get
Yes.
them to buy it. But then you didn't know what order the stuff was going to come out in. Now you can actually say, hey,
Ooh.
tomorrow, if they added a product to the
Yeah.
cart tomorrow, I want this video testimonial to go. And then in 3 days, if they don't buy, I want this promo code to go out. And then in 2 more days, this. So the same way you would do
Yeah.
abandoned cart sequences or email
Mhm.
marketing drip, you can
Yep.
now do
Yep.
that with the Facebook remarketing, which is incredible. So that's
That is
something to
super
play with.
cool. I
Yeah.
got to ask you then, because you reminded me, you mentioned the email too, how like MailChimp, for example, is one of the most sophisticated when it comes to stuff like that. Can you also do it where it does it by itself, where it guesses what the best way to sequence it is in the timing? You know what I mean? So like MailChimp, you know
Mhm.
how when you can email and it'll give you options, you can do it. you can drip it like you said, or you can click something. Now it's one of their new features where it says we're going to use our learning, algorithms to decide when it's best to send emails to each person in your audience,
Yep.
right? Um, yeah. So can you do that as well with it, or I
Abs-
mean,
absolutely not.
not yet. Not yet.
Unfortunately,
Okay,
no, it'd be
that'd be cool. That
amazing.
that might be an invasion of privacy too. Like it's just
Yeah,
like it
they're
knows
they're
exactly when the time is, like when you're done eating dinner and stuff. It's like, all
they're
right,
yeah,
here you
they've
go.
already been in enough damn trouble. But what I will
Yeah.
say is like we have a sense of what the best thing to talk to someone about is.
Mhm.
So like the promo code thing isn't the greatest right after,
Yep.
but maybe like a cool 20-second promo video of a bunch of influencers smashed together all liking the product. So there's like this lifestyle piece. Then you're seeing that and it's like, ooh, damn, all these people are having fun and I left that product in my cart. Should I go back?
Yep.
And then not offering that discount code right off the bat is, I find it to be beneficial, and it doesn't diminish the value, because a lot of people, they know how these things work
They
and they say,
do. I was
oh,
just gonna say
I
that.
just add it
Yep.
to a cart and then wait till
Yep.
tomorrow and then I'll get my
Yep.
20% discount code. But I
Mhm.
think I think if you can do a good job of piecing that content in the right sequence and getting
Yeah.
people to buy before the discount code, then that makes them want to spend more forever, because they haven't already said, oh, well, I can sneak my discount out of these guys. They might not even
Absolutely.
come across it for a week and they might say, oh, maybe it's just not a discount brand. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
going to offer them those types of things in your email stuff. Hey, we're doing a promo, and but just getting them to make that first purchase. But that sequence remarketing is amazing. We're still trying to wrap our head
That's
around
really
it,
really cool.
but
Yeah.
it's I mean, super
I'm glad you
powerful.
brought that up. Yeah, that's something I didn't know about. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the other thing, based on, are you on is it Shopify store?
No,
Oh,
it's WooCommerce, WordPress
WooCommerce.
WooCommerce. Yeah. So
Got
I
it.
mean, I kind of have my thoughts on Shopify. I mean, it's obviously it's a great platform. It's beautiful code, beautiful UI. Um, the monthly fees I think are a little high.
Right.
One, and then also this is something that a lot of people might not know. It doesn't matter for all businesses, but Shopify kind of owns you in a way, right? Like, so when you
Mm,
go on their site, they can tell you what you can and cannot sell. They could also shut you down.
yep.
I don't know about you, but I don't want someone like that telling me if I can't do something on with my business. Like that's for the federal government to tell me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that just makes me a little weird about Shopify. Um, but other than that, again, I'll give credit where credit's due, and they're definitely better in terms of their UI and some of the features, their plugins. They run smoother and they're a little cleaner than some of the offerings on WooCommerce and WordPress. But you can do great stuff on WooCommerce as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. Cool, man. Well, very interesting. I mean, I didn't even know that this type of thing existed before
mm,
before about a month ago. And
really,
so,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, when you're not in the streaming and gaming space as much, and I used to
yeah,
play quite a bit more than I dabble here and there now.
mm,
But we're seeing it from a marketing and consulting standpoint of like how big are some of these players, these individual gamers, how
mm,
big are they going to be? And after they decide to stop gaming, or even while they're gaming, where else could they be monetizing? How could they be building an audience that is either merch or partnerships or influencer
mm,
stuff? And so it's a space that I'm paying a lot of attention to right now, because I don't have the uh, what would you call it? I don't have the social sway to land NBA players.
yeah, yeah.
But I do wonder, kind of as the gaming thing is starting to boom, if there's a place for us to kind of get in and dig our feet in and play. So something I've been thinking about, and
Yeah.
come across some really interesting
Dude,
people.
you absolutely could, man. You absolutely could. I could see it. It just, again, what I would say is you're going to have to kind of get involved in it more organically,
Yeah.
so you understand the culture. The culture is the biggest thing, especially, maybe in every space, but especially in the gaming space because it's unique. Like we talk in memes, we have, there's just so many things that people that aren't in the video game or online entertainment space would have no idea what you're talking about.
Yep.
So if you don't know those things, you're going to stand out like a sore thumb, which is I like to call these people, these are the non-endemic people. They come in and they stand out. It doesn't matter how much money you have or whatever. You come in and they're just going to kick you right out. You gotta understand that culture. But if you got that, then there's so much opportunity, man. There's just so much.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. And for me, I don't know that I'm 100% the culture fit. So these are kind
Mhm.
of like the conversations and the people I'm meeting to kind of explore the territory and see if it even,
Mhm.
for me, if I'm not culturally the right person for it, then
Well,
it's
again, though,
never going to feel right.
I mean, I'm sure you are. I mean, do you listen to podcasts? Do you listen to Joe Rogan? Do you watch YouTube? I mean, do you watch YouTube? Let's see. That's the question, right? Because
Right.
it's not gaming. Like I go back to, it's the online entertainment space,
Right.
right? That's
Yeah.
really the culture.
Mm.
If you watch YouTube at all, that's online entertainment. And a lot of those people are even dipping over into live streaming now. They're not just video gamers. It kind of used to be, for sure. Like, you're right on that, but now it's become really, it's about online entertainment. I mean, there's
Mm.
all walks of life in it now, and but yeah, so I think you could be a good fit for it.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right, man. Well, I really enjoyed learning a little bit more about the company. It sounds like you guys are having, great growth, and it's on its way to some awesome things. So tell people
Yeah.
where they can find you. I mean, I'll link it up, but where can they find the company?
Advanced.gg. So www.advanced.gg. The Focus product is on there, which again, simply put, it's a product that helps you focus better, and it really, really does work. If you're looking for something that's not a gimmick, something to help you focus and concentrate better, this really does work. So we have that product, and then the Chill product is located on www.chillbyadvanced.gg. They're technically separate websites, so that's why I said both. So
Yeah, because of the CBD issue.
yeah, exactly. And I know for your Canadian listeners, I know Canada's more liberal when it comes to CBD type products than the U.S. is even, but it's an import export issue. So right now we only ship the Chill product within the United States currently. So unfortunately.
Makes sense. And then if I come across anybody that's a streamer or an influencer looking to get involved, just reach out through the website, best way, or to send
Yeah,
you.
or to me on Twitter, at FarCognitions. My DMs are always open. So yep.
Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate the time. It was really interesting.
Yep. Thanks, man.
All
All
right.
right.